everyone, my name is Elmarie and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my September wrap-up and my October TBR. First up for my September wrap-up is XOXO by Axio. This is a YA romance that I gave 3.5 stars to. Jenny is an aspiring cellist and she meets a mysterious young man while she is working in her uncle's karaoke bar. They have a really great night out and then he disappears. She reconnects with him when she and her mom visit her grandmother in Seoul, where she finds out that he is actually a K-pop idol. There are also a couple of conflicts between Jenny and her mom and her grandmother. I really liked the characters and thought the relationships were all very well done. My only issue was with the pacing, but I don't really read romance, so that might just be because I'm not used to it. Next up, I read Tales of the Withenwood by J.W. Hawkins. This is a fantasy short story collection. It was my first arc, so I have a reading vlog of that up in case you are interested in it. It's a collection of fables with the characters all being animals. It's got very beautiful, very descriptive, flowery prose. Stories get progressively more darker, going from fairy tale-esque to almost horror leaning. Next up, I read River Sing Me Home by Eleanor Shearer. This is an adult historical fiction that I gave 5 stars to. In this book, we're following Rachel, who has run away from the plantation where she was enslaved after finding out that emancipation means that they still have to work for their masters. They're just called apprentices and not slaves now. She goes looking for her children who were sold when they were still very young. She goes to Trinidad and British Guyana, and this book was beautifully written. It was heartbreaking and it was hopeful at the same time. Next I read Well That Was Unexpected by Jessie Q. Sutanto. This is a YA romance that I gave 4 stars to. After Charlotte's mom catches her and her boyfriend together, she whisks Charlotte off to Indonesia to go rediscover her roots. While they're there, Charlotte's mom creates an account on ShareIt and sets up a meeting with the boy that she thinks is more suitable for her daughter. Enter George Clooney. His dad and his little sister are determined to find him an acceptable girlfriend. So they start chatting with who they think is Charlotte on ShareIt. This book was funny and sweet in equal measure, as Charlotte and George get to know each other, their families and themselves. Highly recommended. The last book I read in September was Chain Gang All Stars by Nana Kwame Adeje-Brenya. This is an adult sci-fi dystopian set in near future America. Gave this one 5 stars as well. In this world, prisoners can join like a gladiator type program where if they survive for a set period of time, they win their freedom. The characters in this book are just so well written. They are so fleshed out and so real, and it was absolutely heartbreaking and horrifying when one of them died. And there is quite a bit of death in this book. It is so very well done. Then my October TBR is a little bit chaotic because I am an idiot, and for the last couple of years I've done the Storygraph Reads the World Challenge and really enjoyed it. So obviously I signed up to do it again this year and I completely forgot about it until last month. So I'm hopefully finishing it in October and we'll see how that goes. I'm halfway through 2 books. The first one is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. This is an adult fantasy / horror book. It's about a young woman in a highly patriarchal society. She has been taught that the Darkwood and the witches who live there are evil and dangerous until one of them gives her her mom's diary. So far it's a really atmospheric and creepy read and I'm having a really good time with it. Do you be in my video. Oh, if you're going to be here, you're going to have to say hello to the people. Say hello. Express. Say hello, everyone. You're going to come sit on my lap. Then I'm also about halfway through As Long As You Love Me by Mariana Leal. This is a new adult romance. Catalina is an engineering student from Venezuela who really wants to stay in the US. So she works really hard in all her classes and at her internship, but she has some serious competition for the permanent position that would secure her future in the States. Gabe is her annoying and handsome classmate who is also in line for this position. So they end up striking a deal that Gabe will drop out of the running for this position if Catalina agrees to be his date for his brother's wedding. What could possibly go wrong? After those, I'm hoping to get to The Other Einstein by Marie Benedict. This is an adult historical fiction about Einstein's wife, who was a brilliant physicist in her own right. Next, I would like to get to A Marriage of a Thousand Lies by S.J. Sindhu. This is an adult contemporary novel. Lucky and her husband Krishna are gay. They also are pretending to be happily married for their conservative Sri Lankan American families while dating on the sides. It's not ideal, but for Lucky it seems like it's the best option because she gets to have her life. But then Lucky's grandmother has a nasty fall and she has to go home to her childhood home, where she reconnects with Nisha, her childhood best friend and first love. Lucky tries to save Nisha from entering into an arranged marriage based on a lie. Next up, I'd like to read Feybound by Sarah Al-Arafi. This is an adult fantasy. Yeren is a warrior in the Elven army and her sister Lettel is trying to make a living as a diviner. A fatal mistake means Yeren is exiled from the Elfin lands and they are both forced into the terrifying wilderness beyond their borders, where they encounter the Fae court. Next, I'd like to get to We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. This is a YA fantasy. Zafira is the hunter. She disguises herself as a man and braves the cursed forest of the Ars to find food for her people. Nasir is the Prince of Death. He is his father, the Sultan's assassin, who goes after anyone foolish enough to contradict the Sultan. War is brewing and Zafira embarks on a quest to find a lost artifact that could restore magic and free her people from the Ars. Nasir is sent to retrieve this artifact and kill the hunter. Then I'd like to get to Just Like Mother by Anne Heltzel. This is an adult horror. Maeve hasn't seen her cousin since she escaped from the cult that they grew up in. But when Andrea reappears, Maeve starts spending more time with her and her weird baby-obsessed friends. And the last book that I will hopefully get to this month is Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto. This is a cozy mystery. 60-year-old Vera wakes up and finds a body in her tea shop. After that, she decides that she could do a better job investigating the murder than the police. And honestly, she's probably not wrong. If you have stuck around to the end, thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!